Welcome back to Interview Mock Lab podcast. Today, we're zeroing in on a pivotal moment in your journey to a real estate career, the interview itself.
Yeah, absolutely. You've put in the work to get to this stage, the application, the resume, and now it's really about showing them who you are and what you can bring to the table.
So we'll be looking at the kinds of questions you'll likely encounter.
And maybe more importantly, how to craft responses that truly resonate, based on some solid guidance.
Our aim today is to arm you with the understanding and, well, the examples you need to walk into that interview room, not just prepared, but genuinely confident.
Ready to make a memorable impression. So, okay, you're gearing up for this interview. You can expect some general questions first.
Right. The ones aimed at understanding you as a person, how you might fit in.
Exactly. They help gauge your personality, your fit with the team, how you might interact with clients. Think of these as like foundational.
Okay, so what kind of things might they ask?
Well, things like what aspects of your previous roles did you find most rewarding? Or maybe what would you say are your top 3 strongest skills?
Makes sense. And I bet they ask about areas for growth, too.
Oh, definitely. Something like what skills would you like to learn and why? It gives them insight into your self-awareness, your, growth mindset.
Right, and that classic, how would people who've worked with you describe you? Colleagues, clients.
Yeah, that's a good one. It lets you highlight positive traits through others' experiences and definitely have questions ready for them when they ask.
Oh yeah, super important. Shows you're engaged, right?
Yeah.
Not just passively sitting there.
Absolutely. Your questions show your interest level. And then there are those forward-looking ones.
Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or 10?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what specifically attracts you to this company shows your ambition, but also if you've actually, done your homework on them.
And the big one.
Right. The core of it. Why should we choose you? What makes you stand out? This is really your chance to spell out your unique value.
Okay, so those are the general ones. But then you've got the real estate specific stuff, right? Drilling down into experience.
Precisely. You should anticipate those. A really fundamental one is what's your strategy for building and maintaining a client base?
Because generating business is key.
It's crucial. They might also ask, what are some key resources you think are essential for today's buyers and why? You need to show you understand the current market.
Yeah, things move fast. Which probably leads to questions about time management.
You got it. How do you effectively manage your time? Balance the in-office tasks with being out showing properties, that kind of thing.
And tech. Can't forget tech.
No way. Be ready for, can you describe the technologies you use, to streamline selling, showings, everything?
Okay, what else is specific to the industry?
Well, they'll want your perspective on the profession itself. Like, in your opinion, what are the defining characteristics of a successful real estate pro?
Getting at your philosophy.
Yeah, and to tap into your passion, maybe. Can you share a particularly rewarding selling experience? Or just what part of working in real estate do you find most fulfilling?
And then bringing it all home.
The direct question. Based on everything, why do you believe you'd be a valuable addition as our newest agent or broker? Connects all the dots to their specific needs.
Okay, let's maybe dig a little deeper into some of those key questions. Explore how to effectively approach the answers.
Good idea. Let's start with one that seems simple but tells them a lot. On average, how many properties do you typically sell within a year?
Right, it's a direct way to gauge experience.
Yeah.
But what if you're new? How do you handle that?
That's a great point. It's not just about the number. Whether you've sold dozens of homes or you're just starting, the goal is to quantify your experience or your potential.
So how would you frame that if you're newer?
You could talk about relevant training you've done, your deep understanding of the local market, maybe your business plan and projections based on your efforts. Mention the types of properties you're comfortable with, maybe specific markets you're targeting, like first-time buyers or a certain neighborhood.
So highlighting that specificity builds confidence even without a long sales record.
Exactly. It shows you've thought it through and have a plan. It's about the story behind the number or the potential number and what it says about your capabilities.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, shifting gears, a really crucial area today. How do you leverage the internet and social media in your strategy for selling homes?
Oh yeah, unavoidable. So much happens online now, you absolutely need to show you get digital marketing.
So what should you mention?
Well, specific platforms you use, maybe your website, LinkedIn for networking, definitely visual ones like Instagram, Facebook, but the focus should be on how you use them strategically.
Right. It's more than just like having a profile.
Exactly. It's about engagement, adding value, maybe talk about highlighting the visual side using really good photos, maybe virtual tours.
And targeted ads.
Yeah, discuss how you might use targeted advertising to reach specific buyer groups. Even mentioning how you track results, analyze what's working, shows you're proactive.
Could you give an example, like quantifying it?
Sure, even anecdotally, like I found that posting high quality videos on Instagram consistently has led to about a 10% increase in inquiries for similar properties. Something like that. It shows impact.
Got it. Okay, let's switch to organization. That feels like a non-negotiable in this job. The question, what methods do you use to stay organized and ensure you're always on time?
Absolutely critical. Reliability, time management, they're huge. Your answer needs to detail your system.
So like using a calendar.
Definitely. Maybe a digital calendar synced across your phone, tablet, computer, setting reminders well in advance. But also mention specific techniques.
Such as?
Maybe time blocking for different tasks, prospecting, follow-up showings, or using a CRM system to manage client interactions and details. Even something like having a pre-showing checklist.
Ah, okay. That level of detail shows you're really on top of it. Proactive about managing everything.
Exactly. It shows structure and preparedness.
Okay, here's one that requires some reflection. Describe a time you found it challenging to build rapport with someone, a client, owner, investor. What might you have done differently?
Right. This tests your people skills, but also your ability to learn and adapt. It's good to structure your answer here. Maybe use something like the STAR method.
Situation, task, action, result.
Precisely. Lay out the situation, what you needed to achieve, what you actually did, and what happened. But the key is focusing on what you learned.
And what you do differently now.
Yes, clearly articulate that revised approach and keep the tone positive, focused on growth. Maybe you talk about a client with really specific, maybe tough expectations. Perhaps initially you just showed them what was available.
And maybe that didn't quite work.
Right. So in hindsight, you realize you needed a deeper conversation up front. Really dig into their motivations, manage expectations better from the start, maybe separate the must-haves from the nice-to-haves.
So it demonstrates self-reflection, refining your approach. Okay, here's another practical one. What's the most difficult part of keeping clients engaged and focused during property showings?
Ah, yes. This gets at how you manage the actual showing process. It's good to acknowledge it can be a challenge. Clients get distracted, maybe focus on the paint color instead of the layout.
Happens all the time, I bet.
It does. So your answer should describe your technique for gently refocusing them. Perhaps you let them explore for a moment, get a feel for the place.
But then you guide them.
Exactly. Then you strategically guide them towards the key features, especially those that match their stated needs. Explain why you do this, maybe highlighting the 3 things they said were most important. It shows you understand the sales process and how to guide effectively.
Finding that balance.
Yeah.
Letting them experience it, but making sure the key points land. Okay, now a more direct one about strengths. What qualities do you possess that make you a strong real estate agent?
This is your chance to really sell yourself, connecting your personal traits to what the job demands. Focus on things like communication, active listening, empathy,
Proactivity.
problem solving.
Yes, all those. But don't just list them. Explain how they help your clients. So instead of just saying, I'm a good communicator, you might say, I focus on active listening to truly understand what my clients need, and then I tailor my communication style to ensure they feel informed and comfortable throughout the process.
Got it. Illustrate the benefit, not just the quality. Okay, final question, deep dive. What key questions do you ask prospective clients to make sure you truly understand their needs?
This really reveals your process for client intake, how you personalize your service. Describe that initial interaction. Do you use a survey, a questionnaire?
And give examples of questions. Definitely. Go beyond just budget and location. Maybe you ask about their lifestyle, their commute, their long-term plans for the home, or even ask for descriptive words. What 3 words describe your ideal home?
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of gets at the feeling they're after.
Exactly. Explain how gathering this deeper information helps you narrow the search effectively and find properties that genuinely fit, not just tick boxes. It shows you're committed to understanding the why behind the what.
Right, digging deeper. Okay, so we've covered a lot of questions. Beyond just prepping answers, what are some broader tips for really nailing the interview itself?
Good question. First off, research the company thoroughly. Understand their brand, who their agents are, what they've sold recently, their niche in the market.
Check out their listings, client reviews online.
Absolutely. Tailor your answers to show you understand their specific business. It proves genuine interest, not just that you want any job.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
What else?
Prepare questions for them. Have maybe 3 to 5 thoughtful questions ready. Things that show you're thinking deeply about the role in the company, stuff you couldn't just find on their About Us page.
Shows engagement, initiative, and the basics.
Don't underestimate the basics. Punctuality is key. Arrive on time, maybe even 5 or 10 minutes early. Shows respect for their time, total professionalism.
Can't argue with that. And how should you dress?
Dress the part. Think about how you dress to meet a client. Usually, for real estate, that means business casual or maybe business professional attire. It just shows you understand the expectations of the role from day one.
Okay, solid advice all around. Well, that kind of wraps up our focus session on getting ready for that real estate interview. We've gone through quite a range of questions and hopefully offered some helpful examples for crafting your own answers.
Yeah, and remember, that preparation really is the key to feeling confident. When you anticipate what's coming and you've thought through your responses, you'll be in a much better position to make that strong, positive impression.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in to Interview Mock Lab podcast. If you found this helpful, please do like and subscribe to our Interview Mock Lab YouTube channel. We've got more insights and tips there to help you ace your next interview.